This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Thursday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey, and here's what's making headlines on this May 7th. We are following breaking news this morning as investigations are underway after IMPD officers say they were forced to open fire in two separate incidents. A brand new information we're learning at this hour. With many unemployed right now, some Indianapolis organizations are making a new effort to connect Hoosiers to jobs. How you can use this program to help find the right employer for you. And this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, so we are checking in on some local kindergarten teachers as they continue to give their lessons online. But before we get to those top stories today, we need to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast. Todd Closet is joining us from home today. And Todd, what can we expect for our Thursday?
You know, it's not a bad day for us today, Lauren. One, we'll have plenty of sunshine, and two, the temperatures will get closer to where they should be for this time of year, and that's right around 70 degrees. So what do you need to grab before you go? Maybe you're going for a walk around the canal in downtown Indianapolis or just anywhere in your neighborhood. Well, definitely have the sunglasses. You need the sunscreen as well. Even with these cooler temperatures, you can still get a sunburn, and then you definitely need to have at least a medium weight jacket. This morning, as temperatures have fallen down into the 40s in many locations. There's a couple 30s that have been popping up here and there. Richmond at 36 degrees, but thermometer there in Richmond's always running a little bit cooler, I think, than other locations. 42 in Indy right now. 48 is the current temperature in Bloomington and Crawfordsville at 43 degrees. We have one little band of cloud cover that's been working its way through the area. It's clear from Indianapolis to the north, and we'll have clear skies this morning. And with those clear skies and lots of sunshine, temperatures make a jump very quickly in an upward direction. We're around 63 degrees already by the time we get to the noon hour, with high temperatures later on this afternoon, Lauren, getting up to 66 degrees with skies becoming partly cloudy.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads, maybe heading to work early this Thursday. Here's a look at I-65. This is near exit 90, State Road 44 to Franklin and Shelbyville. Right here, traffic is moving along up to speed, but keep in mind we do have a traffic alert about 4 miles south of here in the southbound lanes. An obstruction blocking the right lane of traffic, so you'll need to slow down and stay to the left. We'll continue to keep you updated. It's not causing any delays this morning. Well, we do want to get straight to our breaking news we're following this morning. IMPD is investigating an officer-involved shooting. Not a lot of details are known right now, but what we do know is this happened just after 1:30 this morning in the 2200 block of Wood Glen Drive. That's near 79th and Ditch by St. Vincent Hospital. You see it there on the map. We're told officers were responding to an investigation, and shortly after they arrived, they were involved in an officer-involved shooting. We do have a crew at the scene right now, and we'll bring you an update within the next half hour. And we are following another officer-involved shooting that left one suspect dead. This happened around 6 last night after a police chase. Officers say IMPD Deputy Chief Kendall Adams spotted a reckless driver near I-65 and 30th Street. When the driver refused to pull over, Chief Randall Taylor was also at the scene at a separate vehicle behind Adams. The two chased the suspect until the officers in marked cars arrived. They removed themselves from their pursuit. Soon after, the suspect stopped near 62nd in Michigan and began to run. According to police, the officer deployed his taser, which led to an exchange of gunfire. The suspect was shot and died at the scene. The officer was not injured. A large crowd later gathered at the scene in protest. This shooting is under investigation, and officers tell us they are aware of the Facebook video that appears to show the shooting as it happened. We are not showing that video this morning as we are still working to learn more details. Now to the very latest on the coronavirus outbreak. Indiana reports more than 800 new cases of COVID-19 confirmed across the state. That brings the total number of cases to 21,870. 51 new deaths were also reported. More than 1,200 total Hoosiers have died from the virus since the pandemic began. So far, more than 120,000 Hoosiers have been tested. About 18% of those have been diagnosed with coronavirus. State health officials say that safe recovery sites for the homeless have been critical in preventing the spread of COVID-19. The sites help those that test positive get the necessary care and prevent outbreaks at shelters across parts of our state. Part of the FSSA's program has helped give them a place to stay, including hotels. In an update with the governor, health officials say the efforts are important to protect those who are most vulnerable.
Because of the ability to immediately refer COVID positive or symptomatic individuals experiencing homelessness from shelter encounters directly from emergency departments and from local health departments, we have effectively prevented an additional level of public health crisis.
Well, during the update, health officials also said that high rates of smoking, diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity are contributing factors to Indiana's death toll. At 5:05, the pandemic continues to take its toll on local businesses. The Stacked Pickle has announced it is closing all of its restaurants. The restaurant CEO and former Indianapolis Colt Gary Brackett made this announcement on social media. He says the loss of sporting events and a month and a half of business has left them unable to move forward. The Stacked Pickle had several locations around Indianapolis, Carmel, Greenwood, Plainfield, Lafayette, and Dayton, Ohio. There's a new effort to connect Hoosiers looking for jobs with potential employers. A program called Rapid Response Talent looks to speed up that matchmaking process. Job seekers can fill out a short form online listing their skills and experience. That information goes into a virtual portal which creates talent pools for employers.
Individuals looking for employment and vice versa. Individuals and job seekers who are looking for employment now, they can try to connect to employers that are part of the Indy Chamber membership and that are posting their jobs as we speak.
This program is a partnership between Employ Indy, the Indy Chamber, and Ascend Indiana. For more information, you can go to our website, hiringhoosiers.com. One thing that we've learned during this pandemic is that people are really creative, especially our educators. They're having to work extra hard right now to teach and connect with their kids virtually. So this morning, our Kelsey Anderson is joining us with some creative ways that two Hancock County teachers are teaching their kindergartners. Kelsey.
For Aaron Harden and Courtney Munsell, the best part about teaching kindergarten is getting to build those one-on-one relationships and connections with their students, and also getting to be there for those special aha moments when something they're learning finally clicks. But of course, this year, because of COVID-19, they are missing out on a big part of their students' kindergarten chapter. Sure, they're still getting to teach them and interacting with them weekly, but they say it's not the same. So both Harden and Munsell made little care packages to let their students know they are still there for them. The care packages include things like a pot and seeds to plant, and some teachers have even included a cutout version of themselves for the students to take on new adventures.
We have a classroom Facebook page, and so the parents keep sharing pictures of all the kids and what they're doing with their flat Mrs. Munsell, and the academics are important, but they can come later. I just want them all to know that I'm still there. I haven't disappeared. I'm close by.
Both teachers are also spending time reading to their students virtually and having their students read to them. The end of kindergarten is always filled with such fun events, and both these teachers and all the teachers at Mount Vernon are making sure that the class of 2032 has just as much fun as the classes before them. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right. Well, thank you, Kelsey. At 5:08, it's a cool morning for us here across central Indiana. But the good news is, well, it's the sunshine throughout the day. Today, we are going to start to see these temperatures warm very, very quickly. And it's going to turn into a pretty decent day, and one day that you'll really need to kind of soak in, because it's the best day that I have in my 7-day planning forecast, which I'll show you coming up in Maine weather in just a little bit. Temperatures right now are sitting in the 40s, and that's where we'll be through 8 a.m. But once we get past the 8 o'clock hours, since we're going to have the sunshine right away, those temperatures are going to moderate. Any cloud cover that you see there is moving out of central Indiana, and here is your planner for the day today. A little breezy at times this afternoon. That's the only little flaw. Otherwise, temperatures into the mid-60s, going from mostly sunny to partly cloudy, but all in all, a good day. We'll talk about the rain that returns overnight, Lauren, coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thank you. New numbers expected to come out today about Americans facing unemployment. Coming up, how they're expected to jump and the industries that are most affected. Hotels are working to find ways to improve safety standards as they begin to reopen. Still ahead, the changes you'll notice the next time you book a room. The time right now is 5:09. Stick around. We'll be right back after this break.
Wants to be a millionaire tonight on ABC.
Now to breaking news we are following this morning. Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting that happened just around 1:30 this morning. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live from the scene. And Alyssa, where are you and what do we know right now?
You know, we're in the 2200 block of Wood Glen Drive, and we know that officers were called here to the Dogwood Glen Apartments just around 1:30 this morning on reports of a burglary. When they arrived, they say that they were involved in a shooting. They say that a man had a rifle and started shooting at them. We're working to learn more details. We just know that this is under investigation right now. This is an active scene. If you are heading to Town Line Road in this area, you should avoid that because police are on scene investigating just exactly what happened here. We do not know all the details, but we do know that this is going to be tied up for quite some time as they continue to investigate exactly what happened here at this scene. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. This morning we are expecting new numbers with millions more Americans out of work. Unemployment filings for the last month and a half are already topping 30 million. ABC's Alex Brachet has the latest.
When would you be available to start?
For some Americans, this is what finding employment looks like in the age of coronavirus. A drive-through job fair.
You interview either standing or in your car, and you can get an offer on the spot.
This one near Los Angeles is for a security firm hoping to hire more than 1,000 people. But it's a drop in the bucket for the country's employment woes. Payroll company ADP says the private sector slashed a record 20 million jobs between March and April, the biggest losses in transportation, construction, service, and hospitality. Weekly unemployment filings, which come out today, are expected to jump another 3 million to a total of 33 million over the last 7 weeks. One of the president's top advisors estimating historic unemployment on CNN.
My guess right now is that it's going to be north of 16%, maybe as high as 19 or 20%. Wow. And so we are looking at probably the worst unemployment rate since the Great Depression.
Wow.
Millions of Americans are slowly getting back to work, trying to balance their health and their livelihoods.
It's been exciting, scary. We just really didn't know what to expect.
43 states will have lifted some restrictions by this weekend, but the virus is still rising in at least 19 of them. Texas is one. It had 1,000 new COVID cases recorded in a single day. Illinois had its largest one-day death toll since the pandemic began just this week. President Trump accepting that reopening will bring a human cost.
It's possible there will be some because you won't be locked into an apartment or a house or whatever it is. And we have to get our country back.
And now at least one school is scheduled to reopen. A tiny public school in Montana will begin offering classes today, going against the advice of some education officials. Classes will be offered for 16 days before summer break begins. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
Well, people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 may be banned from joining the military. The Pentagon says it is concerned about the virus impacting its ability to deploy troops safely. And officials say that the rule is being discussed due to the lack of understanding of the virus's long-term effects. Sailors on the U.S. Theodore Roosevelt are still testing positive weeks after the virus first appeared on that ship. The recruits with histories of COVID-19 would still be able to apply for waivers, allowing them to serve. Many chronic health conditions also require waivers. Uber says it's cutting about 14% of its workforce. That translates to about 3,700 full-time employees. Although Uber has been able to operate during the pandemic, not as many people need rides. There's also fears of getting into a car and being in close contact with another person. Uber's layoffs will cost the company about $20 million in severance pay. It's also offered financial assistance for up to 2 weeks to drivers who contract COVID-19. General Motors says it intends to reopen its U.S. and Canadian plants on May 18th. GM says it's working with government health officials and the unions on the safety measures needed to reopen the plants later this month and to operate them safely. GM has multiple plants in Indiana, including Marion, Bedford, and Fort Wayne. The company's plant in Kokomo has continued running to produce those ventilators. Right now at 5:17, we want to get a check of our forecast. Todd, you are standing by with a look at what we can expect for our Thursday, and we're hoping for maybe some warmer weather here in the month of May.
Yeah, you know, today is going to be warmer for us, Lauren, compared to what it has been the past few days. With that said, though, these temperatures are still going to be averaging well below normal for where they should be this time of year. So take a look at our temperature trend here, and you can see we're nowhere close to the average high with the exception of today. Today we get into the mid-60s. As we work our way into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we will be well below normal. In fact, we probably don't even get back to 60 degrees until early next week. So it's very very unseasonably chilly across the area for both our afternoon highs and also our overnight lows. Our overnight lows should only be down to right around 50 degrees. It's 42 right now in Kokomo as well as Indy. 48 is the current temperature in Bloomington. To the south, we have just a little bit of lingering cloud cover here, but this is on its way out of the area, so that is good news for us going forward. The sky should be mainly clear by the time the sun comes up for everybody, and with that sunshine, temperatures will warm very quickly as we work our way throughout the course of the morning hours. Already 63 degrees by the noon hour, and then mid-60s during the afternoon hours for your high. In fact, we'll stay hovering right around that 66-degree number from 2 p.m. all the way through 6 p.m. And then once we get past 6 p.m., the clouds are going to start to increase a little bit throughout the evening hours. Sunset is at 8:46 with the temperature at 64 degrees, and then into the 50s by 10 p.m. Now, overnight tonight, we do bring rain into parts of the area. Notice TrueCast brings rain, and it's going to be fairly steady to southern portions of the state. And this will continue into the first half of your Friday. It's going to be a very sharp cutoff right around Indianapolis with whether you see rain or no rain. To the north, I think you're going to be mainly dry, and then all the rain should be out of here by 3 o'clock or so if you do see it at all. So your rainfall potential shows you how sharp that cutoff is. We're talking about nearly a half an inch of rain in Bloomington and Columbus and points to the south, maybe a couple hundredths of an inch in Indianapolis, and then nothing to the north. So again, it's a wet day for some of you tomorrow, but some of you are going to be dealing with dry conditions. Everybody, though, will be dealing with chilly temperatures. Highs will occur right after midnight, one of those days that most of the afternoon will be spent in the upper 40s. Saturday morning, below freezing. Freeze watch is posted. Saturday afternoon, 55 with sunshine. And then for Mother's Day, Lauren, some scattered showers in the forecast, but the day will not be a washout with highs near 60 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this Thursday. This is I-65 and I-70 at the North Split in downtown. You can see everything's really quiet at this early hour. Just a few headlights making their way across your screen. Keep in mind, I-70 is closed between the North Split and I-465 on the east side. That continues throughout this week in both directions. Some major road construction there, so plan accordingly. As the country reopens, hotels are making some major changes to improve their safety standards. Hotels are already cleaned more often than most homes and just under hospital standards. Now they're going to be cleaned even more under a new industry-wide initiative called Safe Stay. It's to assure that all guests and workers that basic safety standards are in place. You'll notice more signage about cleaning and social distancing, also more contactless transitions like checking in and out through apps.
In the rooms, you might see fewer things that you can actually put your hands on, small items. I know that there's already a great rush towards creating technologies that are voice command.
Room service delivered to your actual hotel room will probably end, as well as buffets. Instead, there will be more grab-and-go options. Twitter is testing a new tool that would prompt users to think twice before sending a nasty reply. It's Twitter's most recent attempt at coping with widespread harassment on its platform. Those who use language that is, quote, harmful will get a prompt recommending that they edit their reply before posting it. Twitter hasn't exactly said what language will trigger that message. While they're testing out this function, it will only appear for Apple users. A longtime childhood tradition is coming to an end. Dum Dums Lollipops is ending its prize program after nearly 70 years. Spangler Candy Company out of Bryan, Ohio says the prizes will end May 31st. Spangler brought the lollipops from Akron Candy back in 1953 and started the prize program as a promotion. Customers would save the wrappers to buy toys and prizes. The company stopped the mail-in program in 2016, but customers were still able to enter codes from the wrappers on their website to compete in challenges and get free and discounted items. Well, family and friends continue to get creative to give their loved ones a special birthday during this time of year. After the break, a one-of-a-kind parade that made a 7-year-old's day one to remember. We'll be right back.
Call the number on your screen.
Well, we love telling stories about people finding ways to make those special occasions even more special during these tough times. And one little boy in Carmel got a parade of his very favorite cars. 7-year-old Jack turned 7 yesterday. Jack couldn't have a big party because of social distancing rules, so his parents gifted him a surprise Corvette parade. His mom says that Jack is a big fan of classic cars, so she asked the Corvette Club to help shift his birthday celebration into high gear.
Jack and I had talked several weeks ago, and he just had said that this was not going to be the best birthday ever because nobody could come to his birthday. And so we were just trying to think of a way to make it a great birthday. I just randomly contacted the Indy Corvette, and today 24 of them came to drive by to surprise Jack, to wish Jack a happy birthday.
Very fun. Well, Jack's a real go-getter on his own. He raised around $2,600 for St. Baldrick's Foundation, a charity that provides funding to childhood cancer research. Jack and his brother will also shave their heads in honor of Brooks Blakemore of Carmel, who lost his fight with brain cancer almost 4 years ago. So happy birthday from all of us here at RTV6 to Jack up in Carmel. And thanks to the Corvette Club for joining in. We know we always see them at the toy drive, Todd, so it's great that they are able to help this kid have a great birthday.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they donate so many toys to the toy drive, and our own chief meteorologist, Kevin Gregory, he's a big Corvette fan as well, so he always enjoys talking to them. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with clear skies. Temperatures are a little on the chilly side this morning as we work our way throughout the morning hours with plenty of sunshine right away. 9 a.m., the temperature's already up to 50 degrees, and then highs today will be climbing up into the mid-60s for everybody. None of the questions. Some of you could get close to 70 degrees, which is seasonable. Enjoy today. Rain returns tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up in a little bit.
Inside the COVID unit at this hospital and the people facing the pandemic every day. That story at 6 a.m. when I join Lauren and Todd on Good Morning Indiana.
Work weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
This morning, Metro Police are investigating 2 officer-involved shootings happening within hours of each other, one deadly. What we know about both incidents. The coronavirus pandemic has had a huge impact on education, with students learning from home. This morning, we're looking at how some local kindergarten teachers are working hard to connect with their students and teach them digitally. It is 5:30 right now on our Thursday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is standing by from home this morning with a look at our Thursday forecast. And Todd, what can we expect as people head out the door this morning?
You know, more of the same. It's been a pretty consistent weather pattern here in the morning hours, at least, with temperatures that have been very chilly. And we're all in the 30s and 40s once again this morning. And that's not going to change here going forward in the next couple days. We will continue to run well below normal. It's 42 degrees in Indy right now, 48 in Bloomington, 44 is the current temperature from Tipton over towards the Muncie area. We had a little bit of cloud cover this morning moving through. That is now pushing into the Bloomington and Greensburg area, but Indianapolis has cleared. Looked out the window before I came down here to my basement in the studio, and you could see the moon, and it's almost full. It's pretty impressive out there this morning, so check that out. But that band of cloud cover, that's the only weather-related thing we have really anywhere close to central Indiana, so that means we're going to start the day off with lots of sunshine. As the day goes on, we'll start to build in a little bit of fair weather cloud cover as we work our way into the afternoon and evening hours, but overall, a very nice day for us. A little breezy at times this afternoon, but Lauren, today's the warmest day that we have over the next 7, so make sure you get out there and take advantage of the highs in the mid to upper 60s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as folks are heading out the door. This is over on the east side, I-70 and Post Road. You can see traffic is picking up a little bit. Everything's traveling up to speed. Keep in mind, 70 is closed, though, from 465 on the east side all the way into the north split downtown for ongoing construction work in both directions. It is 5:32 right now. Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting on the northwest side. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live from the scene this morning with the latest in what she's learning. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren, and we're still working to learn more details, but I'm on Township Road on the northwest side of Indianapolis right now, and you can see there's still a lot of police activity in this area. Just down the road is where this shooting occurred in the 2200 block of Wood Glen Drive. Police tell us they were called to the Glen Apartments around 1:30 on reports of a burglary. When they arrived, they were told a man started shooting at them with a rifle. Officers began firing back at this man, and now we are still working to learn exactly what happened to that suspect who shot at police officers when they returned fire. And of course, we'll bring you the latest details when we find that information for you. But as of right now, Township Line Road is blocked off, so if this is part of your morning, you should definitely avoid this area. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you for that update. Meanwhile, Indianapolis Metro Police Department is continuing to investigate a deadly officer-involved shooting that happened on the city's northwest side. And this is a look at the scene where officers were at late into the night. You see a large crowd was also gathered in protest of that shooting. Officers tell us they are aware of a Facebook Live video that appears to show the shooting as it happened. We are not showing that video this morning as we are still working to learn more details. But we did ask police about the video, and here's what they had to say.
We're made aware that there was a video that was posted on Facebook. Although the officers and the detectives have done their due diligence in preserving that evidence through proper legal channels, and if it's associated, there's information on it that's appropriate for the investigation, no, yes.
Well, again, we are working to learn more information about that video, and we will update you as we have more information. Here's what we know about that shooting so far. It all started around 6 last night near I-65 and 30th Street when IMPD Chief Kendall Adams spotted a reckless driver. Chief Randall Taylor was in a separate vehicle directly behind Adams, and the two began to chase the vehicle as Adams called for help. When other officers in marked cars arrived, Adams and Taylor removed themselves from the pursuit. We're told the chase went on for about 10 minutes before being called off. And then about 6 minutes later, another officer spotted the suspect near 62nd in Michigan. According to a police report, the suspect got out of the car and started to run. The officer then deployed his taser, which police say led to an exchange of gunfire. The suspect was shot and died at the scene. The officer was not injured. No names are being released as this investigation is ongoing. It is 5:35, turning now to the very latest on the COVID-19 outbreak here in Indiana. 51 new deaths were reported by the state yesterday. That brings the total number of Hoosier deaths to 1,264. The State Department of Health also reports 862 new cases of COVID-19. So far, 21,870 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. More than 120,000 people have been tested, and about 18% of them have been diagnosed with the coronavirus. Now, Marion County accounts for the most cases of COVID-19 and the most deaths in the state. That's why Mayor Joe Hogsett and top health officials in the county say that the stay-at-home order needs to remain in place. Local restrictions are in place until at least May 15th, and the director of the Marion County Health Department, Dr. Virginia Kane, says following social distancing guidelines can be the difference between life and death.
If we do not let science and health data guide our decision-making, any glimpse of reopening will not be permanent, and our community members will suffer. So we are pleading with everyone in every corner of our city to treat this virus with the seriousness it deserves.
Well, Marion County officials hope to have a timeline to reopen early next week. We know that the financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic has been massive on our community. The Rebound Indiana is working to make sure that you and your family have the resources you need to make it to the other side. Last night, we held a virtual town hall in partnership with the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny and staffed attorneys spent nearly an hour answering your questions about everything from domestic violence to stimulus checks to evictions and foreclosures. The pandemic has forced a lot of people to think about their own mortality, and the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic recommends 3 important documents.
People should have what's a will, a power of attorney, and a healthcare representative form. A will to say who their property goes to if they pass away. A power of attorney that says if I can't manage my own affairs because I'm in the hospital or I'm incapacitated somehow, who can do that for me? And then a healthcare representative form that says if I can't make my own medical decisions because I'm in a coma or I've had a stroke or I'm on a ventilator, who can make those decisions for me? So those are kind of 3 important
Well, the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic offers Talk to an Attorney every Tuesday and Talk to an Immigration Attorney every Thursday, both at 5 p.m. For teachers across the country, they're having to come up with new ways to engage with their students in learning. In honor of Teacher Appreciation Week, our own Kelsey Anderson spoke with 2 teachers who say they miss the connection with their students the most.
Kindergarten teachers play such an important role in our lives. Me personally, I remember my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Almond Clark, from over 20 years ago. She taught me how to read, write, and most importantly, get along with others. And now kindergarten teachers today are having to teach those same lessons and make those same connections virtually.
Kindergarten is very hands-on.
Erin Harden and Courtney Munsell both teach kindergarten for Mount Vernon School Corporation. They are missing those one-on-one interactions with their students now that school has gone online.
He is so tired from spending so much time working his way out of his shell.
So they've come up with creative ways to make those same connections, just in different ways.
I delivered a care package.
Kids in Mrs. Harden's class received seeds to sow.
They were given pots with soil and seeds, and so they were able to actually plant those. And then it's been really cute because they've been sending me pictures of their finished product.
And Mrs. Munsell reads to her kids every other night on Facebook and surprised them all with baby chicks.
And then we were able to bring the chicks home. So I have 12 chicks growing in my house.
She also sent each of her kids a flat Mrs. Munsell so they can feel close to her and take her wherever they go.
So it's been fun to watch. We have a classroom Facebook page, and so the parents keep sharing pictures of all the kids and what they're doing with their flat Mrs. Munsell.
But besides just the connection between teacher and student, these two are missing out on those special aha moments when something finally clicks for a student.
The flip on that, and I've just shared this with my parents, I think it's a very cool and unique thing that they are getting to see those now.
Both Harden and Munsell tell me that they're hoping to get together with their classes this summer for a formal in-person see you next year first grader. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, thank you, Kelsey. It's great to see how all these teachers are getting so interactive and coming up with new lesson plans for all their kids, no matter what grades. All right, you're probably working from home, so let's talk about the patio forecast for you. As you can take your work outdoors today, there's no doubt about that. We'll enjoy lots of sunshine here this morning, and temperatures that will moderate pretty quickly. So by this afternoon, we're talking about temperatures that'll be in the 60s with skies becoming partly cloudy across the area, and you need to take advantage of today. Rain chances return tomorrow. They're pretty high for some of you. Not everybody's going to see the rain tomorrow. And then we also have some showers on Sunday for Mother's Day. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 5:40. Stay with Good Morning Indiana. We're back in just a couple minutes.
About to fix it.
Well, reaction is pouring in after video showing the killing of an unarmed black man appeared online. This incident happened in Brunswick, Georgia, back in February. 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery was out for a jog when he was approached by 2 white men. Video shows Arbery struggling with one of the men before being shot and killed. The men claim they shot him while attempting a citizen's arrest. One of the men is a former investigator with the local district attorney and a local former police officer, which has complicated this case. The district attorney has referred the case to the grand jury to determine charges. Starting this August, schools around the country will have a new set of rules for handling sexual misconduct cases. These regulations are part of Title IX, which prohibits sex discrimination in education. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos made this announcement on Wednesday, saying the goal is to strike a balance that's more fair to everyone involved, from survivors to the accused. Critics worry that the new rules will keep victims from coming forward. That's because one of the provisions gives the accused a chance to cross-examine their accusers. The new rule also narrows the definition of sexual misconduct on campuses. It is 5:45. The former head of the CDC warning U.S. lawmakers Wednesday to brace for, quote, a long and difficult war against the coronavirus. While testifying before Congress, Dr. Tom Frieden says we are on track to top 100,000 COVID-19 deaths by the end of this month without improvement in a national response. Alex Perche is in Washington with more.
This morning, a new warning from the former head of the CDC, predicting the number of coronavirus deaths in the U.S. will exceed 100,000 by the end of this month.
Until we have an effective vaccine, and unless something very unexpected happens, our viral enemy will be with us for many months and possibly many years.
Dr. Tom Frieden made the comment on Capitol Hill. He was brought in as a substitute after President Trump prevented Dr. Anthony Fauci from testifying in front of the Democratic-led House committee. Fauci, the federal government's top infectious disease expert, will instead testify before the Republican-led Senate next week.
The House is a setup. The House is a bunch of Trump haters.
The White House is defending the decision, saying House members did not provide an adequate explanation for why Fauci should testify.
We don't have time in the middle of a pandemic for publicity stunts.
The absence of Dr. Fauci prompted frustration from members of both parties.
I think it would have been good testimony, useful to this committee, I think useful to this country.
In the meantime, President Trump is backing off plans to wind down the White House task force in the coming weeks.
I had no idea how popular the task force is until actually yesterday.
The president spoke during an event marking National Nurses Day, where he also contradicted a nurse he was honoring as she spoke out about the availability of personal protective equipment.
So PPE has been sporadic, but it's been manageable, and we do what we have to do. We're nurses, and we learn to adapt.
Sporadic for you, but not sporadic for a lot of other people.
Oh, no, I agree, Mr. President.
Because I've heard the opposite.
As for Dr. Fauci, the White House says both Democrats and Republicans will get a chance to ask Dr. Fauci questions at the Senate hearing next week. Alex Crochet, ABC News, Washington.
It is 5:47, an urgent warning about a rare and dangerous condition in children that could be related to the coronavirus. It's being called a Pediatric multi-system inflammatory syndrome. Doctors in the UK first sounded the alarm last month. Since then, more cases have emerged in the U.S. cities, including New York, D.C., Atlanta, and Detroit. Doctors say it's similar to a rare condition called Kawasaki disease, which causes the inflammation of blood vessels, and it can lead to heart problems. Symptoms can include persistent fever, abdominal issues, rash, and even cardiovascular symptoms requiring intensive care. At 5:47, we do have some good news out of New Jersey this morning. Hackensack Meridian Health celebrated the release of its 5,000th COVID-19 patient on Wednesday. The 55-year-old man spent 26 days at JFK Medical Center in Edison, where he had to be put on a ventilator. He was wheeled out of the hospital and met with a standing ovation from the staff there. As you can see, doctors say he has now made a full recovery. Always great to see some good news there. Hoping for some good news in our forecast, Todd, as we head into our Thursday. What can we expect today?
You know, today is the best day that we have of at least the next 7 days. So you really need to take advantage of today, Lauren, because as we look at your weather headlines going forward, rain is set to return to the forecast overnight tonight. And then this weekend, it is going to be chilly with some rain chances as we get into a Mother's Day, unfortunately. This morning, skies have cleared out. There's a nice full moon tonight into tomorrow morning. However, clouds will be moving in. So I'm encouraging you to take a look at it outside this morning. I know it's not completely or technically full, but it looks very, very impressive. The clouds that we have in southern locations will continue to move out here this morning. Here are those temperatures as you get going on this Thursday morning. 39 in Connorsville as well as Greenfield. 48's the current temperature in Bloomington and Crawfordsville, sitting currently at 43 degrees. And as we work our way throughout the day today, temperatures will moderate very, very quickly. That's the good news. As soon as the sun comes over the horizon and gets higher in the sky, we'll see those temperatures climb through the 50s this morning to the low 60s already by the noon hour, and then high temperatures this afternoon, anywhere from 65 to 70 degrees across the area. So it's very, very comfortable. It's a little breezy. That's probably the only flaw, but all in all, not a bad day. Now, going forward in this forecast, overnight tonight, rain is going to overspread parts of the area. If you live north of Indianapolis and pretty much north of this line, I would say from Crawfordsville to Muncie, you're going to essentially remain completely dry throughout the day tomorrow. I do think some rain will start to sneak its way into the metro area, but notice north of that yellow line, there's hardly anything as far as precipitation that falls, and then that storm system will move out by 3:30, which is the good news. We'll get rid of the rain, but that is going to help to unlock some very cold air to our north and set us up for an extremely cold evening Friday into Saturday. Even tomorrow's temperatures in the afternoon are only in the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. Saturday morning, temperatures going into the 20s and 30s across the area. Everybody should be below freezing. A freeze watch is already posted for Saturday morning by the National Weather Service. That's likely to be a freeze warning as that gets upgraded as we get closer to Saturday morning itself. Saturday afternoon, 55 degrees with sunshine. It's a quiet day with weather, just 15 degrees below normal. For Mother's Day on Sunday, some spotty showers, but not a washout, a high of 58. And then slowly, as we get to the middle of next week, we come out of this big chill, Lauren, and temperatures will eventually start to get a little closer to normal.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now from our INDOT traffic camera here. Our bird camera at I-70 near the Sam Jones Expressway. You may remember this hawk we caught on the camera last week, and so keeping you updated. Looks like everything's going well, sitting on the nest there, and traffic down below is traveling up to speed. Well, the coronavirus pandemic has two plant-based meat makers earning a lot of green. Beyond Meat Inc. and Impossible Foods are seeing a huge jump in sales. That's due in part to the lack of beef and pork products due to the coronavirus. Shares of Beyond Meat have shot up 85% since just mid-March, and Impossible Foods says the demand for their products has increased as well. New food items will be available at 1,700 Kroger stores. In addition to that, Impossible has added nearly 800 retail locations over the past 3 months. Speaking of food, if you need a boost in your mood to keep off the quarantine 15, check out these tips. Looking for a way to help alleviate depression? Pick up some yogurt or kefir. A study by the University of Virginia found that the probiotics in these foods may help reduce negative thoughts. Feeling a little sluggish today? Grab some whole grains for an energy boost. Foods like oatmeal, brown rice, and whole grain bread are also high in fiber, so they won't leave you feeling crashed like foods high in sugar. If you're craving something sweet, you can have a few bites of dark chocolate. It contains caffeine and flavonols that improve cognition. I can go for just about anything right now. Well, major milestone for Methodist Hospital. Coming up, we'll show you the heartwarming gesture one COVID-19 patient received after leaving the hospital. We'll be right back.
Live on CourtTV.com.
Welcome back. While hospitals across the state mourn the loss of patients to COVID-19, healthcare workers are also taking time to celebrate signs of hope. Well, IU Health Methodist erupted in applause yesterday afternoon as a coronavirus patient left the hospital. James Seeke had been in the hospital since April 24th. As he headed home, the 64-year-old waved and pumped his fist as hundreds of people cheered him on. One registered nurse calls the COVID-19 pandemic the biggest undertaking of her lifetime.
For the nurses on our unit, it is an incredible source of pride because it was learning an entire new patient population, and to be able to be a part of this celebration today was joyful. There were a lot of tears, along with laughter, smiling, but also just incredible happiness and joy.
Seege's recovery marks a major milestone for Methodist. He's the 300th COVID-19 patient to discharge from that hospital. I love how excited he is, and all of the nurses and staff there are so thankful for all of their help as we fight this pandemic. All right, now to more news in our weather department. Hopefully some good news, Todd, as we start our Thursday.
Yeah, you know, it's good news at least today, Lauren, but the overall weather forecast is not the best news, as we'll just continue to run really below normal temperature-wise across the area. We're sitting in the 30s and 40s here this morning with clear skies, and today is going to be a good day for us. We start off sunny. Some clouds will build in later on this afternoon, but we get up to 66 degrees going forward in this forecast, though. That's when we run into the issues. We'll talk more about that coming up in the next half hour of Good Morning Indiana when Raphael joins Lauren and I. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.